What's up, everybody? Kind of an impromptu stream. Welcome. Yes, I did not mean to yeet the box. I tripped. I don't know if I tripped over a dog or something, but it'll be fine. I'm sure Micro Center handled it worse than I have. So, anyways, we're just literally gonna hang out. Maybe. Wonder if I should put the mic pack on for tonight since I'm gonna be over here. So I do have to do a couple other things here on the Ender 2 Pro before it goes to Krista. Already got the Easy ABL Micro prototype on here, so no manual bed leveling. We just got a little tiny probe. We got solid bed mounts. If you guys are wondering, our standard solid bed mounts do fit the Ender 2 Pro, so I did confirm that. I also have a filament sensor on here, so I put our Easy Out on here. This is just a standard kit, and the upgraded aluminum extruder got rid of the plastic one because we know those all suck, and put some tough tube on it. So not going to go too crazy with the mods because it actually prints pretty damn good out of the box. The stock layer fan's actually pretty good. So look here. This is what came off this machine with just the only modifications were the firmware, the tough tube, and the extruder. So pretty stock. I'm very happy with it. Just took an Ender 3 profile, changed the build size, and yeah, this is a nice little printer. Yeah, ABL. So our Easy ABL Pro is currently supported. This is a prototype. I showed this off in the last one. I figured a tiny printer should get a tiny probe, so we are working on. These are going to be called the micros. I actually just placed an order for 50 of what should be the final retail units. So they'll have a different cable. This is a standard cable because it's all they could get on short notice for me, and I want to get them into test. So even without a shielded cable, this is being driven by our standard Easy ABL control box, which you can see right here. I hid it away in the corner there. It is still getting excellent accuracy. So, and it also works with the super fast probing, which is really cool. So if you guys are, looking for, because we had some people being like, oh, the probes are too big. Now the 18 millimeters fit on most printers. But I understand that some people are getting into like compact hot end mounts and everything. So this should kind of bridge that gap between the larger sensors that are harder to accommodate on more compact mounts. What are they? The afterburners? What are the Voron guys like? The afterburners? Is that it? Am I thinking of the right one? So yeah, this is a nice little probe. Works great. It's actually a fixed trigger distance, so it's calibrated from the factory at 2 millimeters. So you basically are going to mount this a millimeter higher than the nozzle, and you'll have a Z offset of around like, I don't know, like 1, somewhere around there, -1 for the offset. So, but yeah, I figured it'd be a good try run. The nice thing is, because of the modular design of our kits, we can vary the probe. So right now we stock 18 and 12 millimeter sizes, but they all use the same control board. This will be no different. So yeah, I'm going to open this up. We're going to do a quick fan replacement. These are just our 24 volt, 40 millimeter fans by Orion. And it's a little bit quieter than the stock one. This stock fan is really, really loud. So I'm going to grab my, my soldering iron, and for you guys that are not well versed with soldering, and it's solder, not solder, we do have little quick connects. We actually put these in with all the fans that you get from us, whether it's the 24 volts, the 12, they all come with these. There's just low voltage quick connectors. They work in a pinch, or if you don't want to solder. I don't personally like these on like final like assembly printers, like ones that I'm going to be using for a while. I do use these if I need to do a quick repair on my printers, just because it's extra bulk, but I understand not everybody can solder. So, but we're going to be soldering these. So I got the little fan here, a little 24 volt, 40 millimeter fan. We're going to replace this. It should quiet it down a bit because this one's really, 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 really loud. I really do like this printer. Even at the 160, 170 price point, I think I paid 160 for it, not including shipping. I paid a lot for shipping because I got this like one of the first batches. I do like this machine. I still don't like that it has a proprietary power supply, but when the time comes to replace that, we're going to figure out a solution for that, whether that's designing a printed box that like a standard mean well, like a 250 watt mean well could go in with a power receptacle, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, but yeah, we're gonna jump into this. I'm gonna grab my soldering iron. I'm also gonna put the wireless mic on. So, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab my wireless mic pack. I should have grabbed that before I started, but oh well, sue me. Got some fresh batteries off the charger. Hi guys. I'm going to embrace my inner Lewis Rossman here. So let's see. Now this mic's not bad. It's not as good a quality as the Octava that I use here. That's what the fuzzy microphone is. So I do want to talk too before we get into this. There's gonna be a lot of firmware updates. Hang on, there we go. Why solder and not crimp a 3.0 Molex microfit? I don't like having connectors on my fans. I don't replace them that often, especially if you get fans from us. These are rated for years of use, not months like Creality's. I'm pretty sure if you ask Creality, they'd probably say theirs are rated for years, but we all know that's not the case. Otherwise, we wouldn't be selling so many fans every month. But I digress. It's not dunk on Creality night. It's a hangout. I might grab a beer, and just kind of hang out. Oh no, I moved something on my. Whoa, no, what did I do? I moved something on my layout here. So, anyways, yeah, what was I gonna do? I was on a roll. Oh, so I actually have notes here. So new firmware. So I've got firmware built for the Hangout i3. If you guys remember that, that's an older machine. It's been on my list of printers to move over from the old Unified 1. So if you guys remember Unified 1, that was our firmware that was out before Unified 2, and Unified 1 was built on Marlin 119 with various bug fixes. That has not been updated since, I want to say, 2020 because Marlin 2 came out. Now, we aren't moving over all the printers because there's just not demand for them anymore. Haven't gotten requests for them. So Unified 1, as of today, on our support meeting call, is officially retired. It's still on our GitHub if you want to grab it, but in terms of on our website, it's not there. But the next firmware update for Unified 2 will bring a couple of things. One, there's a bug in Marlin 2093. We found 2 bugs so far in Marlin 2093 from when we updated our code base. One was layer fan pin assignments for the Creality dual board. So if you guys have that fix will be in the next release, which would be 2.42. And then there's an issue where when you turn your ANET, when you fire your ANET board up with the 2093 builds, the layer fan will actually stay on, and the control does not do what you expect it to do. It comes on when it shouldn't. Something to do with timing issues, but a workaround right now, if you guys are using an ANET printer with our Unified 2, if you uncomment the option called fan fix that's in the firmware, that's going to use a slower software PWM, and that fixes it. So as a workaround, that's what we're doing, and that's what the next update will do. And I've got notes in there in like my code to remind me to remove that workaround once it's patched. So I was going to integrate that patch from bug fix to ours, but so much has changed to the hardware hardware abstraction layer for the AVR processors that I can't just copy it over and move over the changed lines. So, but at least we have a workaround for now, so that'll be fixed. But yeah, so printers that are going to be coming out in the next release in terms of firmware support is the G-Tech A10 version 1, the version 2, the A20, the Wanhao i3, that's one with the Melzi boards, the Tivo Tornado, and the Tarantula Pro. Those will be the last printers getting moved over to Unified 2. So if you have like a G-Tech A10M, which was their dual extrusion one that was kind of a flop, or the A20M, sorry, we're not supporting it. Probably won't ever do it. I could move it over later, but just I don't have those printers anymore, so I can't really test on them. But I felt like those other ones were easy enough to migrate over. So those will be getting into Unified 2, so you'll see pages pop up on our download center. But if you still want to mess with Unified 1, if you got an older machine that is only supporting our Unified 1, that is still available on our GitHub. It's just not linked on our website anymore. And any Unified 1 links now redirect to the new download center, which has Unified 2 in it. So if you guys are waiting on easy plugs, I literally just sent our supplier payment, and we should have more easy plugs in about a month. These are all custom made for us, and we have to order a large quantity. So the timing was just bad with all the holidays and everything over in China, because these are made in China like everything else. But we will be getting more of them, and we're only carrying the Plus model. So we carried a Plus and a regular model, and it's actually better for us to just carry one model because people were buying the Plus because the Plus had power monitoring. If you guys already have an Easy Plug or an Easy Plug Plus, we've also pushed out more firmware updates for that. So if you want to upgrade to a newer version of Tasmota, then you can. So I updated the doing work on the Easy bulbs. I ended up just doing kind of the same thing we do with the printers, where I have, you know, these bulbs and plugs all run on Tasmota firmware. So I kind of have a unified configuration for that, and that's on our GitHub as well. It's called the repository is called Easy Home. That's where we're going to be calling all the smart home line of products. Because eventually I might branch that out into its own company name and website, but for now they're going to remain on TH3. And even if we do branch out to another company name, we'll probably carry them on both sites. So I do want to push more into the home automation market. So if you guys got any suggestions on what kind of products you'd like to see that are, you know, focused like these are, where it's open source firmware, you don't have to do anything weird to flash them, you know, like, you know, taking apart and soldering on TX and RX headers, and you just want something that works locally with like Home Assistant or Octoprint. The cool thing is you can actually have Octoprint with the Tasmota plugin flash the bulbs red in your room if there's a printer error, which is kind of cool. So I just wish I had more screw-in bulb sockets. So like these are behind me. Those are actually Easy bulbs. Those are prototypes. I have 2 in my living room, and these 4 are actually going into my office on little desk lamps. I'm building, well, not building, but I'm setting up another office in the basement. So if there's stuff that I need to do that doesn't involve working on printers, and I'm just, you know, needing to be on the computer to do some work, I can actually be in the house. I'll have 2 computers down there, one for me and one for someone else to use. And the computer I'm going to be building after I place a fan on this is going to be my machine. So eventually, sometimes you guys will see me streaming from that other location. So, yeah, because I love this office, but I spend way too much time out here. So, anyways, that's enough yammering. And yes, the song earlier was Rush E. I don't know why I felt compelled to put it on, but, you know, why not? It's fun. So, but yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start taking this apart, and I'm gonna get to the fan. And the fan shroud on the Ender 2 is actually pretty easy to remove. All you have to do is remove one screw, or on the Ender 2 Pro. I'll probably say Ender 2 a couple times just because that was the first version of this. But I mean Ender 2 Pro. So literally one screw here, one little M3 on the back here. And then you come around here and you kind of just pull up on this. It's got little clips on the side. And you just kind of work it off. So the fan is actually attached inside here, and it looks like I'm going to have to cut some zip ties. I'm going to have to undo my zip ties. I just put these on. That's okay. I was going to stream working on this, but it just ended up being, I'm just going to get it done. and just do it offline because it takes way longer. So I'll be trying to keep an eye on chat. I have it up on my screen here. So, but don't be offended if I don't see your stuff. So I am not running the questions bot right now. So looks like we've just got 2 screws here, and it's blowing inward. So in general, on fans, on axial fans like this, the airflow usually blows towards the fan's hub. So like the supports here. So just keep that in mind. This looks fairly easy. There we go. And we should be able to reuse these screws. And it goes without being said, but I've seen some stupidity in my lives. You know, if you're replacing a fan, unplug your printer. So I'm going to pull this back, and I'm going to go ahead, and I want the splice up in the loom here. And these fans do have a decent amount of wire to work with. So plenty of wire. And all I'm going to do is cut this, and I do like to stagger my splices just so they're not right on top of each other in the wiring harness. So I just kind of like that. Let me see. I don't know what. I'd use this camera for some video where we set everything manually, and the I can't get it go back to properly do automatic ISO for some reason. So, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm just going to line this up and make my cuts in the wires. So here's my red and black for the layer, or for the hot end fan with the stagger. So I'm going to cut the red right about here, and I'm going to cut the black right about here. And there we go. So they match. Where is my tape? I need my tape. I need my soldering iron. Remo, you were in the way. What else is new? My mic cable is tangled. All right. Do you think the hot end grounding is necessary? I don't, but you know what? It's not gonna hurt. So my thing is, we all know Creality likes to cut corners, and I'm wondering if they had issues with grounding, and that's why they actually have so much grounding on this printer, because this printer has a lot of grounding on it. I'm going to try setting this back to auto ISO here and see if it behaves, because it was not behaving well the other day. All right, so I just threw some tape here to keep the loom from sliding down. And we're going to go ahead and strip the wires, and I'm going to reach under my desk here and grab some heat shrink. And we're going to remember to put the heat shrink on before we solder the wires up. Because I can't tell you how many times I've soldered wires up and forgot to put the heat shrink on. But not today. Not today. So I'd probably be replacing this fan even if it wasn't loud, just because like they're not known for lasting long, and I'd rather just do it now and not have to worry about it later. We do this with a lot of our printers here. We replace the stock fans just preemptively because we all know that they don't last very long. So I should probably plug my soldering iron in so it's hot and ready. Just like a delicious pizza. I could go for some freaking pizza right now. All right. But I'm going to make sure there's a nice mechanical bond here between the wires before I solder them. So I usually cross them and then twist them. All right. There we go. Look at that nice little solder there. Hell yeah. And replacing a fan is this easy. I mean, I make it look easy because I've done this a billion times. But this is why I like soldering instead of using the quick connects. Now, I absolutely could use it, but I've got a soldering iron. So I'm gonna solder it. Gonna put that under here, heat it up, and there we go. Look at that. What'd you guys give me that? Like a 6 out of 10? What kind of rating would I get on the quality soldering job? I'm gonna slide the heat shrink up. There we go, and then I'm gonna get my heat gun. Nine, 10. You guys are kissing ass. A solid 8, 7.5, good dismount. I mean, I don't know how it could be better, but hey, it works and it's clean, so let's go ahead and shrink this. All right. So now the moment of truth. Does Creality have the polarity correct? Now, I usually... Now, I'm pretty sure they have the polarity correct because the wires match on the inside. But in general, if you don't know if the printer manufacturer has put the polarity correct, you should probe it out with a multimeter beforehand. Oh, no. Do you see what I did here? My PTFE tube is through the wires. Oh, no. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. It's so annoying. I also forgot to take the... I also forgot to change the fitting out on this. This is just the stock basic extruder fitting, which works fine. I forgot to take that off and replace it with one of ours, but I don't feel like going out to the shop. So if you guys do have like more basic fittings, I do this quite frequently. Even on the other ones, it doesn't hurt. So like this is one of the more basic fittings. It's like what comes with the printer, and this is what's included with these extruders. If you don't want them to move, you can just put a little zip tie here, and it'll keep it from moving. Just a little lock there. I don't know why. Oh, come on. Focus. There you go. But I did replace the hot end one because those are the ones that are most prone to failure. That's already got R's on there. So let's see if this works. Where's my power cable? Here's my power cable. All right. The moment of truth. Yay. Oh my God, that's so much quieter. So much quieter. The one in the control box is moderately noisy, but not enough for me to change it. And I think that one actually, I think the one in the control box down below, I think it's a 50 millimeter 24 volt, and I don't even stock those. Not yet anyways. I don't know if we will. I don't know how many people are gonna buy this machine. But maybe I'll get a small quantity because it doesn't hurt to have like, I don't know, 20 or 30 on hand just to have. So then we just screw that back in. And let's see, it should be a lot quieter now. Oh yeah. Okay, I am happy with that. It was really loud. Go ahead and put the wires back in. Oh, and I might as well show this off. So if you guys have, here we go. If you guys have the Ender 2 Pro, this is how our probe mount mounts. So this is the same probe mount as the one that the 18 millimeter uses. There's actually 2 screw holes here. I'm assuming that's for their, crappy CR Touch probe. But I designed this probe mount here to go in to these stock holes, and then you can see the shroud kind of fits in there. And this actually hits the end stop. So on any other machine, typically you would lose travel on the X if you did this, but this printer actually homes the nozzle off the bed. So we accounted for that in the firmware. So when you enable the Easy ABL probe mount, it actually sets the X offset, the distance that this hits the end stop in. So magic. I like to test my stuff and make sure it's all good to go. All right. So I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to put a little tie on here. And then this will be done. And then we're going to hang out and I'm going to grab a beer and we're going to put together my new rig for downstairs. So let's see. There we go. Snap that back on. Let me put it this way. Krista, who knows nothing about printers, commented on how loud the fan was. So I was like, yeah, I should probably change that. And she was not she's not wrong. It was loud. So, yeah. But just the control box fan is the noisy one. So I'm going to go ahead and toss this because I'm not going to use it. Oh, yeah, we're good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and secure my wires again because I know I cut a zip tie up here. And I had one down here to secure my Easy ABL wire. Once I do get the final version of these micros, we will be running black wire. This is just what my supplier that I'm using for these had on hand. But we can see here, we should be all good to go. I'll go ahead and auto home. There we go. I'm just playing with my ISO here. All right. And let's see. Well, it's levels of bed. How's everybody doing on this fine Friday night? I'm sorry if I triggered any of BL Touch users who are used to your leveling taking minutes instead of seconds, but just want to make sure everything works. There, let's now we're going to show off a little bit. Let's go ahead and we'll do an M48. I was just banning people that were spamming. But yeah, here we go. I don't know if you guys can see this. My ISO. Oh, yeah. I'm happy with that. So, anyways, I'm probably going to turn night mode off in here just because I want to see what I'm doing with the computer. So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think especially if you're limited on space, I think that this is a good machine. That's just my personal opinion. You can take it or leave it. I'm trying to figure out, like, I feel like, do you guys feel like this image is really overblown for some reason? Maybe I need to change my metering mode? Like, trying to find my metering mode is set to center. Maybe, oh, hang on. Center versus multi. Oh, I wonder if that was the setting. Okay. There we go. That looks a hell of a lot better. Look at that. Oh, okay. That was the setting. You've been thinking about this or the King Rune, Mr. Ed says. This over a King Rune any day. Like, completely honest. The King Rune's not bad. I mean, if you can get a King Rune for like 120 bucks, versus this, I mean, if we're talking same price, I get the Ender 2 Pro over the King Rune any day. Any day. All day long. I'm going to go ahead and just put all this stuff away. And this printer, I will have printers downstairs in my basement office. I'm going to put the Ender 2 Pro down there for Krista to play with. And then I'm going to actually be bringing my Ender 6 down there. Or maybe my Ender 3 Pro. I haven't decided yet. It's either my Ender 6 or my Ender 3 Pro is what's going to go downstairs in that office. I do want to have a printer down there to play with and, you know, do stuff with. But yeah. All right. So I'm just cleaning up my mess here, and I'm going to go grab a beer. I should have done, like, I was thinking about doing StreamYards, but I don't know how many people actually would come on and hang out. And I think I don't even know if I have a StreamYard account. So I don't know if you guys noticed, too, there were no knobs on the bed because I just replaced them with nuts. So we don't need knobs because we aren't manually leveling. We're going to need the zip tie for the computer build. So I'm going to go grab a beer. Why did it not turn on my... Oh, when I turned night mode off, it turned off my little... Here, we'll have all of them on. How's that? There we go. How's that? Voila, we have all the lights on. I'm going to go get myself a beer. All right. I don't know if the mic reaches this far, but I guess we'll find out. Ba-ba, I'm back, and I've got myself a nice zombie dust. Hell yeah. Okay. So, we are going to be going with an Asus Barebones kit because it was the only thing I could find that came with a graphics card that wasn't costing an arm and a leg. But we're not using that graphics card. The graphics card is actually in the computer I'm streaming with right now. Because I'm going to be pushing a 49-inch ultra-wide on here. So, we've got something a little more balls than the 3070 that came with this Barebones kit. So, I don't think there's anything in the motherboard box. We're doing a Ryzen 9 5900X, and I got an Asus B550 board with their liquid cooler, 32 gigs of DDR4 4000, and then we got a 2 terabyte Western Digital Black NVMe. So, and then the thing is, the Barebones kit only comes with a 750 watt, and we're going to be running a 3090, so we need this guy. Could probably run around the 750, but we're cut it close, whatever. But, yeah, so they actually give you, this is all the stuff, so they give you all the stuff, because the motherboard's pre-installed, so this is the ROG Strix B550, which is actually the board I was looking at before I looked at the Barebones kit. So it was actually a pretty good kit. They gave you a nice case, a nice motherboard, their liquid cooler. Let me see if I can get this open and out of the box by myself. So I built another one of these for the other computer that's going down there, but with a 3070 and a 5600X. So, oh man, I'm going to have to move this camera to get this in shot. This case is a heifer. Now, sadly, my PCI Express extension cable did not come in, so I can't vertically mount my GPU, but those will be here tomorrow. So I'll just move the GPU then. I guess I can just move this here. Let's see. There we go. That's a better shot. Yeah, so I've been building computers for a while now. As you can actually see, there's a 3070 box right there. Don't do many games on this computer, so the one I'm streaming with, and plus I'm only pushing a 2K screen. And like I said, that the Samsung ultra-wide is going to need a lot of juice to push it correctly, so hence why the 3090 is going in this build. All right, so we got a dust cover here. I think this one's for the front, last time I checked. I think that's what it is. And look at it, it's got carry handles. I think I'll take these off when I bring it downstairs, but hey, if I was still into LAN parties, these would actually be appreciated. So, all right. I think what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is take out the stock power supply and get the 1000 watt in here. We're going to go ahead and put the glass panel off to the side so it doesn't get damaged. And this should just pop out. There we go. And yes, the dust cover. So this does have RGB. Gotta have the RGBs, okay? That's what the kids love these days. Gotta have the RGBs. Hello, fellow kids. Heard you like the RGBs. All right. So let's get the ugly side of the case where you hide all your shame of poor cable management off, because I'm going to need to get the power supply out. So I actually haven't taken this down and apart, so this is going to be fun because I have to undo all their cables. I can stream for about an hour here before my girlfriend gets home, and then we're going to hang out. So, but we got to have good cable management because I'm not a peasant, okay? All right, so we got to unplug the 24 pin here. Hey, at least I'll have a spare power supply. Never go wrong with having a spare power supply. So this is the liquid cooler heatsink with the paste already on it. I'm just going to use their stock paste. I actually have not overclocked a processor in a while. I had my 9900K that's in the rig I'm streaming from overclocked. And I don't have it overclocked anymore because it's just, things are so damn fast these days, and I don't care about posting my 3D Mark scores. So, yeah, we don't really care about that anymore. All right, so we've got, they did do a decent job cable management, I will say. And these are the two, well, is this two 8-pins? The EPS 12 connectors. We got one. And yeah, two. So come on, there we go. I'm gonna check chat in a second here. All right, so I see they put electrical tape to hold the, I think these are the RGB headers. Oh yeah, look at, do you guys see this? They put tape over the pins here, which I guess that's good because they're just sticking out. I'm gonna have to put, I'll put new tape on it. That's funny. All right, here's a 6-pin PCI Express. Okay, so is the stock one is not a modular power supply. I believe the 1000 watt I'm putting here is a modular, or at least semi-modular. The question is, how do we get to the power supply? Looks like we've got 2 screws here, and it moves the shroud out of the way. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's see. Not into the speedboat Benchy, Tim. Completely blocked Remo's head. You must be in the Midwest like Gumhall had to do. Yes, I am. So I'm curious to know how many of you guys watching, guys and, I don't know, maybe at least one girl's watching, guys and girl, how many of you guys have built your own computers before? I'm just curious. Because I used to be into really cool stuff. Oh, I kind of want to leave the shroud off. Are these power supplies any good, these 750s? These tough gaming? I'd imagine they're decent. I like Asus stuff. I'm going to assume that a lot of people in watching this have built a computer before. So basically, if you don't get a bare bones kit like this, you know, you'd have to screw the liquid cooler in with the fans and screw the motherboard in. This is literally actually the first bare bones I built since like one of those. You guys remember those shuttle computers that were popular back in the day? Yeah. So I mean, if I buy a gaming, if I'm doing a gaming computer or something that's got a higher end GPU setup, I'll go ahead and build it myself. But if it's like a work computer, I'll usually get like an HP Business Line workstation, just because their bang for the buck is good. This feels pretty good, and it is an 80 plus bronze. So what do we got in the 12 volt rail? We got 744 watts on the 12 volt rail, so 62 amps. So this might have been able to do the 3090, but power supplies are not something I cheap out on. I've actually got in the computer I'm streaming on right now, I've got an EVGA Supernova G2 Gold, and I've had that power supply for almost 10 years. So, yes, the bronze tough PSU. That 751 will be fine for the other build, which is just a 5600X with the 3070. But like I said, I knew I'd be pushing it in terms of the capabilities running the 3090 and the 5900X on there. So 10 to 15, 30 or so. I used to build custom computers for people back in like my early 20s and teenage years. I had like a little side business doing that. And I worked for Tiger Direct for a couple of years. This is a modular power supply. I really didn't care. I used to be like, oh my God, modular. You know what? I'll make my wiring look nice and pretty. This is heavy. I'm a big fan of EVGA power supplies. I've been actually using them for years. What am I going to do with this machine? Just another computer to do work on, do some occasional gaming and stuff. But I'm really curious to see, and this is kind of sad, but I'm really curious to see how fast this compiles firmware versus my 9900K here. So, all right, eco mode on or off. What the hell does eco mode do? So this is a pretty beefy boy. Now, question for you guys: do you guys put your PSU fans at the bottom or the top? Because you can, most of these cases, and this one looks like it's the same, you can put them either way. I have mine always on the bottom. And it's really, I mean, I don't think it really matters that much. But I'm just curious to know what you guys do with yours. All right, let's get that PSU in. Oh, this is interesting. This power supply actually has screw holes for either mounting position, and so does the case. So regardless if you put it upside down or right side up, even if your case didn't support that orientation, this actually has screw holes for both mounting positions. That's a nice touch. So interesting. All right, so this is our 24 pin. This is going to go back up to the motherboard here. I'm probably going to bring this in closer so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I lubed up my ball mount so I can actually move my camera around without it getting in the way of everything and like getting hung up. All right. So the clips here, I'm actually going to put it through the other way because we're going to have to fold this over. Why do they keep doing this split 20 and 24? Like, I have not seen a motherboard in the last like 10 years that isn't a 24 pin. Like the 20 pin ATX standard, that was like, what was that? I think the last time I saw it was like a Pentium 4, if that. It's just weird. Oh, I forgot the grommet. It's like forgetting the heat shrink. Forgot the grommet. So, and I'm actually going to be taking the plunge, and I'm going to be putting Windows 11 on here. So I've been running Windows 11 on my laptop for a couple months now, and it's actually been fine. But we all know that every time a new Windows release comes out, everybody's got to whine about how it's so broken when it's really not that big of a deal. Okay, so what else are we going to do? So literally the only other cables I'm going to need are these. So there's a 4-pin and a 8-pin here. So I thought there were two 8-pin plugs, but it's only a 4-pin. So let's see here. VGA. We got CPU. These are CPU ones. These are both CPU ones. All right. And then we got VGA ones. The 3090 needs 3 8-pins, which is nuts if you think about it. Like, that's a lot of freaking juice. All right, so I've got 6 VGA outputs on this power supply, and I got CPU 1 and 2 here, so 1 and 2. I'll go ahead and fish these up the ugly side of the case. I mean, I don't know if anybody cares to watch this, but hey, we're hanging out here. I'm going to stop in a sec and have a drink, and I'm going to check chat and BS with you guys. That's what I'm going to do. Just kind of go back and forth, chat, and it's Friday. My life is so exciting. I hang out with a bunch of nerds on YouTube, and you know what? I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. I enjoy hanging out with the nerds. Nerds! All right, so there's... Oh, come on. These split plugs, man. All right, there's one. And there, come on, 4-pin, you can get in there. 2. All right, so there we go. And I'm actually gonna, I actually peeled back the other 4-pin. I don't know if you guys can see it, it's right here. I peeled it back on the wire so it's not showing on here, because this is where this side of the other side, I almost said the printer, this side of the case is where you hide all your shame, okay? All your wiring shame. All right, so I think, wow, look at this. We've got, who the hell is putting, I mean, I guess that you could use them for peripherals, but like before, back in my days, these little 4-pins were used for floppy connectors. Do you guys remember what floppy disks are? Or AKA, hey, why'd you 3D print the save icon? Yeah. All right, so these are peripherals. We have no hard drives or anything. It's all NVMe, so these are all the peripheral cables. Let's see. Now, I hate this. I wish that these were single plug cables, except they all got these splitters. I hate these double plug cables. Now the question is, are these the same, and can I put the split ends down at the power supply? Because I'm going to run 3 individual cables to this. I think I might be able to, actually. Just looking at how the connectors are. They look the same. They're keyed the same, as far as I can tell. I'm looking. Oh, maybe not. No, there's a slight keying difference. That's disappointing. Hang on. Let's look at the 8-pin on the graphics card. AOL and chill. Could I get a graphics card? Yes. I could always just probe the pinouts of them and check the continuity. All right, let's see. Take that out of the box. Let's see. Because I hate those double connectors. They're so ugly. Will this work? Oh, okay. These will work, so I can hide the double connectors down there. All right, I'm going to check the pinout just to be sure, but I would assume that we should be fine doing it this way. What do you guys think? So then we have 3 individual power inputs going to the GPU. And they're not those double ones where they're split. How's that? I'm gonna probe these out with my meter just to be safe, because that's kind of an expensive card to be playing. Is this gonna break it or not? So let's see. We're gonna use my handy EEV blog multimeter, and we're gonna test the pinouts here to see if they're 1-to-1 on either side. So basically, if I could reverse these, this pin and this pin should touch, or should connect. This pin and this pin, so on and so forth. So let's see. Oh, hang on. Oh my god. Ooh. They do not. Wait. Are these flipped? But would it matter if it's flipped? I don't think it should matter, should it? I'm very confused. Wait, this is weird. Why? Why is this one going to here? Trying to wrap my head around this. Hang on, my brain is being weird right now. I'm trying to wrap my head around how these are wired. So we have 8 wires coming up here. There's basically, what is it? Is it 4 grounds and 4 positives? Or does it not matter because it's going to reverse it either way. That's weird. So that... Where the hell is this one probe out to? Right there. What the hell? I'm very confused. I'm going to look this up. Wait, hang on. Is there a manual? Can you flip those? It's really going to bother me because here's the problem. It has these splitters. So these are all going to be like all over the place. I'm pretty sure I can flip them. Let's see. It's a nice thick manual. I'm going to read the manual. Let's see. I'm gonna do some reading here. Yeah, so these are all GPU cables. So this says VGA, but so does this one. Doesn't matter which end of the cable I plug into the power supply. Let's see. Okay, yes, connections go to the power supply will not have breakdowns like the EPS on one side and a full A pin on the other. Check each cable as is labeled properly to match the power supply side, and only connect the matching cable directly to the power supply as referenced on each connector. I'm wondering if you can even plug these in. So if that's the case, to idiot-proof this, they should make it so you can't plug these in the wrong way, but you can. You can definitely plug these in what I would consider the wrong way. Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to Google this. Clip the pigtails. I don't like modifying the stock cables. Let's see. EVGA. Let's see if they... can I reverse these cables? Somebody else is asking that. Let's see. Why is someone saying no, no, no? Yeah, see, people are saying why do the cables have that? It looks ridiculous. Some guy said grab a pin remover, just cut off the unused wires. You do it neatly, you'll never be able to tell. That's true. Someone's like, check the continuity, look by the cable colors, except yours are all red and black. Yes. Let's see. And they go right in, so it's not like I'm having to force anything. Someone said theoretically a reverse module power supply cable shouldn't give any problems. However, in my case, OCD would probably kick in knowing that the cable is in there backwards. Let's see. All right. I don't have a pin remover for these type of cables, but this really bothers me. I do not have a pin remover for these style cables. So I'm looking here. Okay, so if these both go into the unit the same way. Oh yeah, they are different. Look at, so you got this one crossing over here at the power supply end. I think you guys can see, I don't see the you got these crossing over here. But my thing is, if it's reversed at one end, and I'm not going to use this other end, this is going to be hidden down there. If this is going to the PSU, as long as it gets reversed at one point, it shouldn't matter. And if it did, why wouldn't they key these so you can't insert them in the wrong direction? That's where I'm confused, because this will go in here just fine. And so will this. Just fine. I don't even have to force it. It goes in and it even locks. And that's the VGA connection. It's fine to plug those 8-pin PCIe in. One of my PCs is like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So here's the thing. If I plug this in down here, you got this other one. This one down here that's going to be hidden underneath is not going to be the right pinout. However, this at the other end should be the right pinout, because when you plug this in here, both of these will be the right pinout. If you plug one of these in down here, then this one will be the wrong pinout, but since we're not using it, it doesn't matter. Do you guys follow my yeah, they only go in one way, and either end can plug in down here. So, you know, my gut tells me it'll probably be fine. And those were the last words he said before frying his 3090. All right, so we've got VGA 1, 2, and 3. Let me move these out of the way. Now, do they have these keyed so you can't plug the CPU ones in the PCIe? They do. So do you guys catch my drift? So yeah, you can't use the cable, the second end down here, because that's going to be pinned wrong. But because this has the repinning here at this end, I think we'll be good. I could also just check the pin. I could jump the power supply. You guys ever jump a power supply? And I could just check the voltage outputs on the PCIe connectors here to be on the safe side. All I'd have to do is just disconnect this, and the 8 pins are already disconnected. Let's just do that. Let's check it. We'll be safe. And if it's good, then we're going to roll with this, because then I don't have all these split cables clogging up my view. Turn the camera off before warranty. All right. I need to look at this because these are all black. I got to look up. EVGA normally includes a jumper. You are correct, but I did not see one in this box. Unless you guys saw it when I took it out. You know what? I might have one in my computer parts drawer down here. Hang on. Oh, hey, here's all the modular cables for the ones in my computer now. Let's see. Oh, here's an old Corsair fan commander. Those things are garbage. Don't waste your money on them. There's a lot of modular cables in here. I feel like there's more modular cables than one power supply. I don't even know why I haven't lost these over the years. No jumper. We're going to have to do it the old school way. I probably have a jumper connector downstairs, but I don't feel like going all the way downstairs. I just got to look up the ATX pinout. Yeah, there's no... Hang on. So here's the thing. EVJ, if these can't be reversed, there's no... These say the same thing. This says VGA on both ends. But yeah, I'm going to check the pinout. I'm pretty sure we'll be good, but I'm going to double check because it's a very expensive graphics card. And ATX pinout. We got to jump, basically we got to jump the, we got to jump what will be the green wire to the, to a ground. So the PS on pin to ground. Here, I'll show you. So what I need to look here. So here's, I couldn't remember what it is. So here's the locking tab. So we basically need to put a jumper between pins 15 and 16. And then we're going to check the PCI Express power connector output. So if I go here, let's see, PCI E 8-pin pinout, PCI E. It has 3 ports. I know what you guys are saying. I'm trying to just get a cleaner install. So here we go. Okay, so on the connector, so when I probe this out, you got, I couldn't remember if it was 5 grounds and 4 positives or if it was 3 positives and 5 grounds. I couldn't remember to be exact. But here's my answer here. So PCI Express 8-pin, the little 2 that come off, these should be grounds. And if I'm looking at the connector on this, it'd be the 2 on the right side. And then the bottom 3 should be positive. So I'm going to test that by jumping the PSU. But what I need to look here is I got to put a jumper across the PS on. Yeah, the PS on and ground here. So we got to go jump looking down from here. So we got to just put a little jumper wire across these 2 pins here. And the power supply will turn on and I can take my readings. I know I had some wire floating around here. I usually do. Wait. Oh, those are male to females. Oh, do I got a male to male? Male to male? Nope. Male to females. Damn, I was hoping I had some DuPonts here that were male to males. Although I don't think these are going to fit in these, will they? Nope. All right, well, scratch that idea. They're not girthy enough. But how many of you guys understand what I'm doing here? I know there's people saying, don't reverse it. But if the pinout is the same like that and we're not using those other 2 cables, it does not matter. Who's on board with... Who's... Paperclip? Do I look like a guy who has paperclips in my office? What year is it? You probably also are wondering if I have a fax machine. So the only cables plugged into the power supply right now are the PCIe ones. Is this 18 going to be too thick? Oh, no. We're going to be able to do this without having any strands go where they shouldn't. That's a negative. That's a 12-volt minus. All right. So let's see. Let's see if my hypothesis is correct. If not, we'll put them in the right way, and then I'll just depin the cables later. All right. Power supply's on. Fan is on. All right, let's take the readings. So looking at the PCI Express pinout, these 2 right pins should be ground. These should be 12-volt positive, and these top 3 should be ground. So let's see what we got here. If not, we'll reverse it. So these should be ground. So if I probe between the ground and here, we got 12. 12. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see this. There. So we got 12, 12, 12, and if I probe here, ground, 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 ground. Okay, so yeah, it'll be fine. So we'll just check all of these just to be on the safe side. So we should have 12, and this should be ground. Yep, 12, 12. And we'll just check all the grounds then too. 12. Yup. Bam. All right. Oh yeah, we're good. I know what I'm doing. So the reason that works is because this end, even though this is technically the one you're supposed to put into the power supply, this end has the wires moved around. So you have these two, so you could power 2 GPU ports off of this one at this end, okay? And the rewiring gets done here at this plug. You see it jumps over. But if we plug this in here, it still has the jump over, but this one down here will not be the correct pinout, so you can't use this, but you're not going to reach a GPU down here. These are just going to be, it's going to be like they don't even exist, and just hidden down in the, hidden down under the shroud. So the whole reason I did it in the first place is because I don't want to have all these excess cables up by my GPU. It just looks bad, and I don't want to cut the connectors, you know, to shorten them up, if that makes sense. So you guys follow me now? And I just want to make sure that the pinout matched correctly at these other ends, and they do. So voila. So there we go. We got our 3 PCI Express power ports, or power cords. So I'll plug my EPS connectors in here. So CPU 2, CPU 1. There we go. Yeah, this is 3 ports on the 3090. So many people are awake this late. Yes, welcome to welcome to nerds. All right, so there we go. We've qualified that, and there's no guesswork. Enzo, did you pee? Oh, we threw up our food. That's what I smell. Oh, that's lovely. Come on, let's go outside. What did you eat that you weren't supposed to? Come on, let's go. Come on, outside. Come on, go. Go potty. Go. Oh, that's gross. All right, well, it wouldn't be a stream without something going wrong. Oh, it smells so bad. Oh, it's warm. Oh, that's lovely. Half digested dog food. Oh man. Okay. Oh my god. Dad's building a PC is boring. I'm going to throw up dinner. No. Alright. So that's squared away. So I don't need anything else down here. So we can go ahead and put the shroud, and we're going to cover up our shame of cables down here. It'll be our little secret, okay? But, I mean, let's be honest. We all know if somebody has like a little PSU shroud, that's where they're hiding their cable shame. And that's okay. All right. There we go. Is that going to go in? Bam. Okay. Put the 2 little screws in. We got a new power supply in. We got our pretty cables. Where's my screwdriver? Here's my screwdriver. I mean, this shouldn't take too much longer. I mean, I remember, like, my desktop here, this has got 3 hard drives in it and 2 NVMe drives. I'm literally just running 1 single NVMe drive on this. So we're going to put this in the top slot here. I got a little 2 terabyte WD Black. I used to be kind of a fanboy of different drive brands, and now I get whatever's got good reviews and, you know, the features that I want. So, all right, let's go ahead and take the heatsink off. And I'm probably going to have to, what is this, a 2208? Yeah, so I need the motherboard box, and I need to find those tiny, tiny little screws. How many guys, like, drop those screws a billion times when you're trying to put in? Oh, look, there's, like, a little RGB controller that comes with the case. But we're using the onboard one for the processor. I'll be curious. It'll be interesting to see. I think, nope. See, on the other one I built, it had the same one. They didn't put the AMD lockdown. They didn't put the AMD mounting bracket on the heatsink or pump AIO, whatever you want to call it. The thingy, the cooler. Why can't I think? I've been building PCs for years. Yeah, I didn't go crazy with the NVMe, but I also didn't cheap out. The other one's got a 1 terabyte in it. I figured I could always add more storage. I like big cases, and I cannot lie. Oh no. And there we go, I dropped the screw. These screws are so tiny. All right. There we go. Go ahead and put this in with my TH3D toolkit, th3dstore.com. Not as cool as Linus, but I'll get there. And then, if it wasn't clear enough by the millions of remove labels on here, we're going to take that off the heat spreader. All right. Come on. There we go. Am I going in? Why are we being a tease? Why are we not going in? The hell? Am I not in the hole? Hate it when that happens. There we go. All right. Okay. I'm going to put the memory in after I do the memory and then processor, the memory. Maybe I should get some water from my TH3D water bottle. I don't, but I do have my blender bottle. Get a handy dandy magnet bowl. Why didn't I think of that? I've got them around. All right, so we got some Trident Neo, and we splurged, and we got the RGBs, okay, because that's what the kids like these days. Got the RGBs. Oh, pretty. Now, I got to look it up. I'm pretty sure, it's got little asterisks here. I'm pretty sure I got to put them in A2 and B1, but I don't feel like switching these around again, so we're actually going to read the manual. But I'm pretty sure it's the ones with the little notes on there. I don't know if you guys know this, but when you are building a computer, there are certain RAM slots. Why do they include this? Who has optical drives? I mean, I have optical drives or USB, but really? You have to put RAM in a certain slot so it will get optimal performance. If you don't, then it could potentially run at a reduced speed. So you just need to check the check the memory. So here, so they tell you here, recommended memory configuration. So if you got 1, it goes in B2. If you have 2, it goes in B2 and A2. And if you have 4, it goes in B1, B2, A1, A2. So, yeah. Why wouldn't they have the first channel, okay, the first pair? Why wouldn't they have those be 1? Why are they 2? What doesn't make sense. And this is those weird, I'm not a big fan of these. I mean, they work, but like the ones where they only kind of clip on one side, I don't like them. There we go. Okay. All right, moving along. Let's go ahead and take the screws out of here. And I'm going to have to switch that bracket out. You know, I can't believe it's 2020 and AMD is still using pins on their processors. Now, this is the first computer I built for myself, like my computer that I'm using, not like a server. My servers actually run a 3960X Threadripper. So if you guys have compiled Easy Firmware on our Easy Firmware site, that came off of a Threadripper box. That was the first AMD processor I bought in almost 12 years. And then this is the first like desktop I'm building for myself in that long, 13 years, that hasn't had an Intel processor, because I've always gone with Intel. I know they were more expensive, but I was more concerned about single-threaded performance, and for a long time, Intel was just decimating that. And then AMD made a comeback. So, used to be a big AMD fan back in the day. The last AMD processor I owned before going to Intel was the Athlon 3800 Plus X2. It was like when they came out with the dual cores. And then Intel came out the Core 2 Duos, and that was it. So we got our marking here in the corner. Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Don't drop it. All right, we're good. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. We just gotta clean it up here. There we go. Yeah, I don't like the pins. Mainly because if you drop it, but then again, at least arguably, pins on a CPU are easy to fix than pins on a processor socket. I'm just rubbing this down with some IPA here. And I got all this stuff from Micro Center. All right. So I need to change this bracket out without touching the thermal compound. Let's see. I think you just turn this. I did this before. Yep, you turn it. That comes off. And I want the little, it's got the little eye on here. Little ROG eye. So I want this like that. So I want to have the bracket like this. Excellent. All right. Okay, and when I put my CPUs on, I always go in a cross pattern when I'm tightening down. The bolts, so to speak. And it kind of works out. This the GPU, the 3090, is also an Asus ROG Strix. So it's all ROG Strix except for the power supply. All right, so that one. That one. Go down here to this one. Then up here to this one. All right. Okay. And this, yeah, there's AIO pump header. So my current computer, my 9900K, actually has an Asus board in it, and an Asus GPU. My server has a Gigabyte board. I've not been a big fan of Gigabyte. Have you guys, any of you guys following the Gamers Nexus Newegg saga? Do you guys ever, anybody watch Gamers Nexus? And following their saga with Newegg and, trying to say that they damaged pins on a motherboard, that they ended up finding out Newegg sent it back to Gigabyte to be repaired, and they didn't want to pay the repair fee. And so they took it back and they sold it as open box anyways. That was some bullshit. I'd be pissed. I'd be furious if that happened to me. All right, so I mean, we're almost done with the build. Like, there's not much to these. Like, we already got our drive in. I wish this. Am I getting this in the right way the first try? Probably not. Story of my life. And I guess that's going to be the way I'm going to route that USB. This is for the control of the lighting and stuff on the pump. And that's got to go down to a USB header, which there's two right here. So they're going to fish that through. My HD audio front panel header is in the way. I remember when all we had was AC97 for audio. I've been building computers for a bit. I think my first one I built from like scratch was a AMD K62 build. You guys remember that? I think that was socket 7. Correct me if I'm wrong. Socket 7. Any of you guys, any older guys remember those? The K62s? Back in the Pentium days? For all this Core i7 stuff. I mean, I guess they still have Pentiums. They're still using that name. All right. Well, we're going to see if this all powers up. So I got to take these two brackets out from my GPU. Where's my screwdriver? We are getting to a point where I have too much crap on my desk. So we're going to go ahead and put some stuff back in the boxes. Just get all this stuff out of the way. All right. Where is my screwdriver? Guys, where did I put my screwdriver? I need more beer. I'm not overly concerned with having this be immaculate. I stopped caring about that many years ago. But I do want to have it somewhat cable managed, just like a good happy medium where it's like he made an effort, you know. So once my extension or the extension comes in, this is going to be mounted right here in all its glory. Won't that look nice? But I don't have the PCI Express extension cable, so we can't do that right now. Oh, it's a big boy. God. Hope these motherboard slots are reinforced. But I think I should have my extension cable either tomorrow or Sunday. Well, technically today. I should have them today. Because today is technically Saturday here. It's after midnight. Dear God, this card is damn big. It's actually not sagging that much. You know, it's almost like if I had this machine that could just make like brackets and stuff on demand. But like I said, it's not going to matter because this is going to get vertical mounted. I'm just noticing this here. The PSU cover, and I'm pretty sure this is what it's for. Do you guys see this? There's little holes here, and I'm assuming this is where the PCI Express adapter is going to mount to, because I saw that. Now, Asus makes one The problem is it's only rated for PCI Express 3.0 speeds, so I got a different brand one. I think I got a Cable Mods one. But it's supposed to be universal mount, but this is plastic, so... all right, all I gotta do is give this power, and we're gonna see what happens when I press the power button. How confident am I in my abilities to determine pinouts? Confident enough to wager on my 3090. 3 PCI Express connectors. I remember, what was it, the 8800 Ultras? What did those have 2 6-pins? And this thing's 3 8-pins. Like, that's nuts. It's a lot of juice. That card just bouncing. All right. See, this is why I wanted to have these cables up here instead of the doubles, because they look so much cleaner. Flip this around. Oh, not like it matters. I'm going to be redoing these anyways when the riser comes in. All right. And my whole thing from a consumer perspective, if they can't be reversed like this, why not key them so they can only go in one way? Or am I wrong? All right, moment of truth. You guys ready? Make sure all these are in. All right. Fingers crossed. Ho ho! I'm smart. Hang on. We gotta see the RGB. So I'll put some Windows 10 on here. Yeah, 3 single cables will give more than 1 double cable. That is correct. Look at that. Hang on. Once my Z-Wave decides to do its thing. Come on, Z-Wave. Turn off the light. See, this is what I don't like about Z-Wave. It works great like 99% of the time, and then like right now I told it to shut off, and it's just not listening. There we go. Here, let's set the ambiance. Look at that. So yeah, tomorrow or later today, I should say, I'll have the GPU vertically mounted, but I can now get Windows installed, and it's built, and it's pretty. RGB. So let's hang out. All right, so this should just shut off. There we go. Yep. So it posted, even though there's no monitor. That's a good indication. So if your board actually posted, even though you don't have a monitor hooked up to it, if it posted and it's not like hung and stuck in a loop, it should shut off right away when you press the power button if there's no OS on it. So if it's hung, usually you have to press and hold. So, yay, I'm happy. I can use my cleaner cable ends here. It's a big graphics card. That card literally barely fit in. I got a Corsair 400D in this build. And, yeah, that graphics card, when I say it barely fit, I mean it barely fit. Like, we're talking less than 1 millimeter of clearance. Like, it was right up against my front fans. But this is a lot bigger case. So I got a lot more room to play with, and I'm not going to do any cable management even on the rear until I get the PCI Express extension, because this is going to move, and I'm probably going to have the cables come up behind the card through this bottom grommet here, and then just fold them over the top, so you won't even see them. And that would be even worse if I wasn't able to have these single-ended cables up here. Dan Adams, I have an extra cable mod vertical PCIe adapter if I want it. I'll show you guys what I got. I don't like ordering from Amazon, but they had it. What is it? Link Up, I think. Yeah, it's got 1,500 ratings. This is what I got, and it's just like a universal thing. So it's a right angle connector. So this will go into those screw holes that I showed you. for when I vertically mount the vertically mount the graphics card. But these are rated for PCI Express 4, and if I'm correct, the 3090 is a PCI Express 4 graphics card. If I'm correct. So, but yeah, we'll make it work. If I got to drill a couple holes to mount this, but I got one for each of the builds so we can show off the GPU. But yeah, the actual case has support for the 2-slot, which is what this does, and it says it's 4.0. They have like a billion different versions, and they have fairly good reviews. Like here, fixed black screen, no post game crash issues on PCI 4 mode, RTX 3090. You know, so basically this is going to allow me. The dogs are, what are they doing? Oh, they're just running around. It'll allow me to vertically mount the GPU, just like you can see. So, yeah. That's about it. So I'll put Windows 11 on here, and maybe next week I can do a stream from the new office setup. I got all the desk stuff in. I got the cabinets built. I just gotta put them together. But yeah, it'll look nice with the GPU on display there. So, you know, got a nice little graphics card. Might as well show it off. So they've also never done a vertical mount, and I was like, okay, that's cool. This case supports it. So I'm trying to think. We went over, for those guys that are just joining, we got some new firmware updates rolling out for to fix the ANET boards, and I think it might affect some of the other Melzy boards. So we just put that fix out. So if your layer fan was being weird with the latest Unified 2 firmware, that's going to get fixed. And I think it's 2.42 will be the next version number. And then we're going to be adding the G-Tech A10 version 1, the A10 version 2, the A20, the Wanhao i3 with its Melzy board, the TiVo Tornado, and the TiVo Tarantula Pro. And then if you guys are waiting on easy plugs, we should have those in about a month. That's the lead time. I did ask my supplier that makes those for us. I sent them the latest Tasmota 11.0 build that I released a couple days ago. So those will be shipping with the newer firmware. If you guys already have an easy plug, whether it's a plus or the regular, if you go over to our GitHub, which is just github.com/TH3 Studio, you can go to Easy Home. So we're calling the firmware for this Easy Home, and you can go to the release pages. This is also linked, I believe, on our support center. It should be. If not, I'll add it. Let's see. Product information, Easy Home. So you can see here I'm already prepping for the Easy Bulb release. But you can see here Easy Plug firmware releases, and this will take you right to the release page. So if you're on, this was the original release, which was, wow, 2020. It's been that long. So that was Tasmota 851. Wow, I didn't realize it was that old. So before, we used to have a minimal version and a full version. I've actually removed or commented out the features that we don't need for the Easy Plug. So if you're using our firmware, which you should be, there's really no reason to use like regular Tasmota. You can, in my opinion, there's no need to do it. But now I was actually able to slim them down so you don't actually have to flash a minimal bin file and then a full one, and then just reset the firmware to defaults. If you do reset 4, so like, let me see, like my Ender 6, that has an Easy Plug. If you guys aren't familiar with the console in Tasmota, if you have one of our plugs, they actually have a full web interface. I'm just going in my Tasmota settings here to get the IP address. Yeah, it's 35. Couldn't remember if it's 35 or 34. So you can see I've already got these here, Tasmota 11.0 for Easy Home products. If you go to the console here, you can actually type reset 4, and this will clear out all the firmware defaults and all the settings that have been entered into the plug except for the Wi-Fi config. So if I were to send this right now, it would reset it back to factory defaults, except it would still be connected to the network. And the reason you want to do that is like the OTA URL. So here, this OTA URL, this actually works now. In the older versions, this was gone. I modified it so you could only upgrade by a file upload. This OTA URL actually works. So once you're on the newer version, being what we call Easy Home version 1, which is based on Tasmota 10.0.1, you can just hit that button. It'll pull down the latest firmware from our GitHub for whether you have the Easy Plug, the Easy Plug Plus, or the Easy Bulb. and you have these files here. So you can flash directly now without having to go to a minimal one first and then the full size one. So we were able to get the code size down a little bit, so you can just go right to a single firmware update, and it works. So if you guys are on the original firmware, like, you don't have to update these. If they're working, they're fine. They don't call out to the internet, so you have to worry about them getting hacked or owned or anything. But if you have the original firmware, which would be Tasmota 851, and you could figure that out by going to the easy plug itself and looking at the bottom here. It'll say Tasmota whatever. You can see this says Tasmota 11. If it says 851, you want the upgrade path would be, you would want to go from 851 to 950, because upgrading from the 851 to 10 or 11 is actually not supported. So you got to do a step. So you would go from 851, which is this 10/2020 release. I just used the date because it was just the easy plug, to the 8/27/21 release, which is then Tasmota 9.5. Once you're on Tasmota 9.5, this one here, you could jump all the way to the one I put out 3 days ago, which is based on Tasmota 11. Now, you don't have to do any of this. It's just something you can do. I just want to point out that we do have the firmware updates out, and I am keeping this updated. So as new versions of Tasmota come out, I'm updating the firmware for here. And I did a kind of a unified type thing where if I look at the my user config file here, you can see here I actually have it. So building it. So if you want to build your own firmware from our source code, you just uncomment what you're building for. You're building for the Easy Bulb version 1, the Easy Plug Plus version 1, or the Easy Plug version 1. So I've done the same kind of touches to this. Most people are never going to touch this, but I just want to point this out that I've got a bunch of automations for the builds and the settings. You can see here, if we're using a bulb, our group topic for MQTT is going to be easy bulbs. If we're using a plug, it's going to be easy plugs. So I've got that kind of automation set up so it grabs the right thing, as well as the OTA URL. So if it's an easy plug, it gets the easyplug.bin. If it's an easy plug plus, it gets the easyplugplus.bin, and same thing for the bulb. So the nice thing is, though, if you accidentally flash the wrong firmware, all that's going to happen is it's still going to connect to the Wi-Fi. It's not going to break the device. So if you put the plug firmware on the bulb on the plug, vice versa, it's just going to load the wrong default module. So if you look at the code here, you can see based on what's uncommented. So when I compile these, it selects the default module to tell Tasmota what I/O pins and stuff we're using. So you can see here, I've got the Easy Plug Plus V1 module versus the Easy Plug V1, which is just a standard one, and then the bulb. So if you accidentally flash the wrong one, it just doesn't, it just could come up and boot up with the wrong template. And you could either then go into configuration, and I believe it's configure module, yeah, and then you could drop down and select. And you see here, I've added these into the actual template. So if I select, like just for example, like I select Easy Plug V1, even though this is Easy Plug Plus with the power monitoring, it'll actually still work to turn on and off. Like I just turned my Ender 6 on and off, but the power monitoring data is not going to be there, and vice versa. So if you selected the Plus and you have the regular one, you're just not going to get any power monitoring data. So it's not going to break anything or brick it. I kind of took that in consideration when I was working on all the code. But yeah, that's about it. I don't really have much of anything, so I turn this on here. There we go. The printer's just idling, so it's really not going to do anything. But anyways, yeah. I saw someone asking if the Easy Board supports clippers. So people do have, people by meaning Apollo. So the Easy Board V1, there's an example config. And I do not use Clipper myself, but I do know where they have example config, which is on their GitHub here. So if you're on their Clipper, their config, there should be Control F. You can see here, there's the Easy Board Lite. So this will work on the 1.0, the 1.1, the 1.2. The dogs are outside. The 1.0, 1.1, 1.2. So this is the older version of the board. If we go to, I believe they merged it in. Hang on. Do they have their, hang on. I thought they merged it in, or maybe they still haven't. So yeah, here, 11 days ago by Apollo. So here's the easy board. So they haven't merged it in yet, but you have the example config for the 2.0. If you're looking to use the 2.0 easy board or even the V1.0 with Clipper, go ahead and jump in our Discord server. And I'll just pull this over here because it's a public server. If you look in here, you can actually see we have a Clipper category here. So if you're looking for help with Clipper, go and do that. So it can run Clipper, but like if you flash Clipper on it and try to contact our support, we're going to tell you that we don't support Clipper. So the official support firmware, meaning if you have an issue, you need help with it, is Marlin. So, but you know, it's your hardware. You can put whatever you want on it. But just because we're not well versed in Clipper, because I haven't had time to play with it, we can't provide tech support for it. So, but yes, it does run on there. And I want to thank Apollo. I don't know if you're watching, but I want to thank Apollo for taking the time. I sent them out one of our first batches of the EasyBoard V2s, and he took the time to do the config and do the testing, and he's got it running on there. So, looks like we got more Russian spammers. But Krista is home, so I will talk to you guys later. We got the computer built. I didn't think we'd be able to get it done, but we did. And then I will just be putting the GPU up, and then hopefully be streaming from this next week if I get the desk done. But it is a stream, so that means we're not going to get a dingo stick today, but I got, Danielle gave these to me. They're Canine Carryout Taco Minis. Huh? You want to give it to him? Oh, I think I'm about to get them all. Here, they're tiny. Hang on, they're tiny, so you can give them each one. But let's see. Remo, sit. Can you speak? Speak. Woof. Come on. Oh, that was a wimpy bark. Enzo, look cute. Good boy. Are you gonna eat it?
He's bad at least.
Go get it from Mom. Oh no. Oh, Enzo didn't eat his, but I'm sure he'll take it. He does listen well. If he only didn't have a punado.
No, you're my height. You need to sit.
Speak.
No, shake.
Oh my God, just give me. Oh. All right. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. I know this was kind of off the cuff and not our conventional stream, but I have built other computers. Actually, I think I built this computer or another computer. I built a couple computers on here, so I'm a nerd. But anyways, I will see you guys on the next one. If you want to hang out and shoot the shit with me, make sure to check out our Discord server, and I will see you guys on the next one. Happy printing, and have a good weekend.